Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sam Shihab, and with me, my partner, Brian Burke. We are from the law firm of Shihab Burke. We practice immigration law throughout the U.S. And family law as well. And we're here to talk about, Brian, about what to expect when we file a delay lawsuit with the government. We decided to just come out and have a conversation that we not pre-rehearse it.
Yeah.
And just have it rehearsed.
The only thing we rehearsed is that we weren't going to rehearse.
Exactly. Yeah. So his thoughts and my thoughts are pure on the air for your benefit.
Yeah.
So Brian, when we file these lawsuits, these delay lawsuits, people come to us, come to you, come to me, angry, disappointed, scared. I mean,
worn out.
Yeah. Family separation, the spouse is overseas forever, or the green card is, it's painful.
I've been waiting for the consulate in country X to interview my spouse so they can come and get a visa and come to the United States and be with me. It's been 2 years. What can I do?
Or I've been here hanging for so long and they're just not approving my case. They come to you, and the overwhelming inhibition from pushing it further into court oftentimes is fear of retaliation.
It's scary to sue the U.S. government.
It's scary to say the big U.S. government. That for them, it's a big thing.
Most powerful government in the world, you know.
And the mental block, the mental block in going forward is, would they retaliate? They're so powerful. I'm so small. They'll go after me.
Or they're going to deny my case because I've dared to go, hey.
What they don't know, that is so far away from the realm of possibilities in this country.
Yeah. So around the world, there are frankly corrupt civil services where there's bribes and there's bias and there's going after people. Despite the flaws in our civil service and that it's very slow, as so many people experience, it is generally really darn honest. Meaning, if you raise your hand and say government, you're not doing their job by suing the government, they will respond in due course, and you shouldn't expect to be retaliated upon by the U.S. government.
You know what's been my personal experience, Brian, in practicing immigration law for quite some time, is the higher up you go within the government system in your grievance, the more respect you get.
That is such a truism, I would say. When we really drive the government mad to the highest levels, you're dealing with high-level professionals, attorneys, long-appointed civil servants who give us frank and respectful answers. The situation runs through my head again and again. Yeah.
So, when you sue the government, you sue them in federal court, and the case is before a judge who's is in fact appointed for life.
Yeah.
So judges in the United States are appointed for life, federal judges. So you cannot remove them. They're not subject to political wind. They're not subject to influences. They're very independent. Yeah. And they want to treat you right. And they are not going to be happy when the government is not doing their job. And when you sue them, you really get a treatment and respect reinstated in the process.
From the judges, but honestly, from the attorneys that we deal with on the government side as well, because every time, we sue the government, you're dealing with an attorney on the other side, a government attorney whose job is to answer lawsuits on behalf of the government. No guarantees, of course, but these are attorneys. They know that we're immigration lawyers, that we're going to see them again. It is in their interest to establish a good relationship with us and not just tell us to buzz off anytime we're helping a client assert their rights. They know we're going to see us again, and it's good for them to have a positive relationship with the bar like us.
From your experience, for every mandamus that you've dealt with, I know from my experience, but since I'm asking you, I'll let you answer. How many of these cases ended up with thumbs up result for the client?
Pretty much all of them, I think. Because
likewise, that's my experience too.
Well, we should talk about results though, because one of the things you sort of have to understand about a mandamus action is you're getting yourself a result, but not a specific one. obviously, everybody wants their case to be approved. But one thing that just has to be known is that just because you sue the government on a case and the government acts on a case, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be approved as well. They're going to, the hope of a mandamus action, a delay action in court, is to get the government to look at your case and do their job by making a decision. But that's something I can't.
But there's no reason to not approve a case if the case is rightfully to be approved.
No, I mean.
So it will not be approved only to the extent that the case was not approvable to begin with. But if you have a case that's approvable, it's 100% will be approved.
Oh, for sure. It's
right.
Don't expect worse results. Just expect the turbocharged results. I guess the same result that you should have gotten. X amount of months ago. There you go. Yeah.
So you filed the case in court. What happened next? How much time the government has, and what to expect?
Well, when you file a court case against the government in federal court, you're looking at a response time of the government. In a lawsuit, the government is required to answer the complaint that you file in court, and they have 60 days to do that. What one hopes for, though, is that the case isn't going to really have to go very far, because on the other side of a mandamus action, there's a government lawyer whose life is made easier by the government, USCIS, Department of State, whatever agencies involved, doing their job faster and more efficiently. So a real common result of these actions is that in lieu of, having a drag-out fight of a lawsuit, that government attorney is going to pick up the phone and call USCIS or Department of State somewhere and say, hey, I have a lawsuit. They're complaining about you. You're going to waste a bunch of my time. I'm going to have to, spend a bunch of time in court if we fight this, or you can just do your job and give them a decision, and we'll all be happier. And that's really what you expect and hope to hear back after you file a complaint with the government. And they'll come back.
Almost 100% of the cases that I can recall, once you file the case, two things happen from my perspective. First, you get the attorney for the government asking for more time.
Yeah.
Always. And because we always say, would love to give you more time, tell us what to expect and what are you going to be doing with that extra time for us to give you more time. And normally says, we're trying to get this thing approved. We're trying to get it done.
Yeah. I think I can get your client an interview in the next 60 days. Will you give me an extension of time to answer this complaint, so I can make that happen for you? And that's where we go. Yes, and we'll give you the time you say you need, and we'll see where we are in 60 days. Yeah. The point on our job, I guess, as attorneys, is to try to establish a good relationship, with whatever government attorney you're dealing with, but ultimately, don't let the pressure off them. Keep the pressure on until you get the results that the client deserves.
A lot of time when I file these cases, I also get, like in a naturalization case, I get the interview. I get the appointment for the sworn-in ceremony that's stuck in the system. It comes out right away. So the lawsuit filters down immediately to the officer, and he's told, we got to move this case or give a good reason why this case is not moving.
Yeah.
And 99.9%, there's no good reason why it's not moving, and therefore this case must move forward. It's logic, because nothing that the attorney for the government does not want to go and stand in front of a judge and explain to them why it's been 18 months since they've scheduled this interview, or it's been 18 months since they've scheduled the,
On top of them having to actually defend the government spot, part of a good, delay lawsuit with the government is explaining, the harm you've experienced, from the delay. If it's for a spouse who's waiting for an interview at the consulate, it's, our life has been put on hold. If it's a citizenship application, it's, well, I can't vote. I can't, take advantage of all the good parts of being a U.S. citizen. It's you put those things, in front of a judge and say, hey, my life is on hold, judge, and the government's answer is, well, we're really busy. Your argument for the government making a decision, the pressure is really on there with a good complaint.
In 100% of the cases, Brian, that I've been involved in, the cases got dismissed with the client getting what they wanted.
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Yeah. Again, the government doesn't really want to fight these unless there's a really, really good reason. I wouldn't expect a fight. There's no guarantees in litigation, of course. You can always be that 1% of cases, but yeah, these are cases where we file some paperwork, we shoot some emails back and forth with the government attorneys, and basically give them some sort of milestones to make some results for us.
And then magic happens.
Yeah, faster results.
No retaliation. I've never seen a single retaliation. That absolutely not in the culture of USCIS, not in the culture of this country, not in the culture of this court, to retaliate because you went and filed a lawsuit to move a case forward.
Yeah.
That's what you should expect. I hope that gives everybody a perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Until next video.